With me, Cynthia, and today is Saturday. I don't know, the weekend after the 4th of July. What's the date? The 11th? I think that's what it is. So today I'm working on an abstract mixed media panel, and I'm focusing on one specific problem today: how to unify this piece and bring it all together. And I guess by way of example, I'm shooting for something a little bit more like this one, which this one in my view is now finished. This one is called Journey to Peace. And I think I started both of these at the same time. They have some of the similar colors in them. So I'm gonna set this aside, and that's the goal today, is to try to see if I can bring this one along a little bit more and see what subject emerges from it, because I don't really go in with a plan, as you know if you've been here before. So I've been contemplating this for the few minutes that I had before I started and trying to decide what I want to do. I really like the fact that there's some light passage through here and here. And I don't know, I was feeling like I want to unify this area here. I like some of what's happening in the distance there. It almost seems like I'm looking into the distance. I don't know. I'm gonna just get going so that I don't think about it too much and just try to move forward with this. I mixed up a little bit of glaze. I thought maybe I would glaze over this with a little bit of blue and then maybe wipe that back. I don't know that this is the same blue. Doesn't look like it, but I'm just gonna go ahead and go with this. And this is mixed media. There's some collage under here, and I tend to use a variety of things, whatever is at my fingertips sometimes. And I probably mix things together that maybe aren't intended to be mixed together. I don't know. I just show up and kind of play with it. So hopefully you can hear me today. In the past, sometimes I start mumbling. Let me know if my audio doesn't sound good. Hope I didn't lose too much of my white passage in here that I had going on. Kind of had some lighter colors in here. I want to, I think one of the most important things about working on art is having contrast, light areas and dark areas. And so I don't want to lose too much of my light areas. I don't want to cover up too much of the collage. And let's see, I think I'm going to turn this, and maybe I like to put on some paint and then spray some water. So let's see, I have this green that I think kind of with some of the green. I think I have some of the paint on my palette that I had from last time, so helping me kind of unify my colors. And if you're in the comments, thank you so much for your comments. When I'm sitting down and working, I can't really see comments. I try to stand up every now and again and check out to see if anybody's made a comment. So hello. I think I activated some of the other colors that were in here from the last time I worked on this. I'm seeing some of this burnt sienna up there. Maybe I need to get that out. I like that. Let me find my burnt sienna. I try to get my colors out in advance, but I don't always know what I'm going to use. Yes. All right. like that. Well, that's a bit orange, isn't it? A little bit on the orange side. I think some of this paint might have, I have a palette that is called a Stay Wet palette for acrylics, and I don't get any money from that. I'm just mentioning what I use. It keeps your acrylic paints from drying up in between painting sessions. And so I have some of the colors I had on here before, but some of them I noticed, this is the first time I've really been using this palette, and I think it's time for me to wash it off and put fresh paint on, because some of this is gloppy. This one right here. I think the yellow was kind of gloppy. And it's leaving some texture, but maybe that's okay. Maybe I want to have a little bit of texture in here. This green. Just really not sure where this is headed. As I mentioned at the beginning, if you weren't here at the beginning, I'm just trying to focus on how to make this piece a little more unified. And I'm trying a variety of things. I don't really have, well, I don't have an end goal in mind, and I don't have a subject in mind. Usually what happens is after I work on it for a little bit, something starts to emerge that, you know, speaks to me as a subject for the piece. I know a lot of people like to plan out their work, but that, I don't know, I feel like that's not who I am as an artist. I feel like I have enough planning in my life. So art, I don't want to plan. Like to see where gravity takes this. Sometimes I start out, I'm a little bit too tentative, and right now I feel like I'm being tentative with this piece because I really kind of liked how a lot of things on it were looking, but I gotta get a little more bold here. Where did I put my brush with the blue? Thought I had I need to come back in here with this. No fear, right? That's what I need to remind myself. I'm just playing with paint and water. One thing about using water and the gravity that I like to use in my work is that it's a little bit more of a slower process. So maybe not quite as slow as watching paint dry, but um, it takes a while sometimes for the results to show up in the work. And on this one, I wasn't going to work on another panel, but sometimes I work on two in one session because, you know, I want it to, the water to move around and for things to settle down a little bit more before I go into the next layer of this. So I might pull something else out here that I'm working on and let this one kind of dry a little bit or move around a little bit. Melinda, thank you. I feel like I'm just exploring, and that's very kind of you to say that you think I'm a great artist. I think we're all artists. I think we just need to give ourselves an opportunity to play a little bit and not to be afraid of, you know, making a mistake or something. It's hard to let go of that, I think. Okay, so this is kind of fun, and I like what's happening here. I don't know where it's headed, but that's okay. I think I'm going to get out another one that I'm working on. Let me reach across the studio here. This one, I think I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of work on this one. I was sort of visualizing this as something happening underwater right here, like light filtering down into the bottom of an ocean. And so I'm going to kind of go with that. Although, like I said, I don't really necessarily pick a subject when I start. Sometimes it starts to reveal itself to me. So in this one, I was feeling like an ocean vibe. So I have this purple, but that feels too, it's got some, what do you call it? Glazing medium in it to kind of lighten it up, but it's very, very purple. I need to put a little water in here. I want to glaze this up here and see if I can bring this together. This also is the same problem. I feel like it's the same problem as what I'm working on with the other one, which is I want to unify it and make it read as a comprehensive whole. And I sometimes don't know what that means until I see it. But I was thinking that glazing this, woo, that is not working as a glaze. That's pretty bold. Well, let's see what happens if we do something different with this. Let's get some of that off of there. That really didn't wipe off the way I thought it would. So I'm just spraying some water on here. Let's see what happens if it reveals what was happening underneath there. I don't want to completely cover that up. This part over here really got heavy, way heavier than I wanted. Perhaps my glaze was not as watery as I thought it was. And this paper towel is not doing me any favors either. It's leaving behind residue. a lot stronger than I wanted in here. See if I can take a little bit more off. Just wanted to pick up on that purple a little bit too much. I think that except for all the paper that's coming off. Could just be the collage underneath that's coming off because I wet it. That was not exactly what I was looking for. I covered up more than I want to cover up of that collage underneath, but at the same time, I'm kind of liking those colors. Let's see, what else can I try? I'm going to try one of these to see if that kind of wipes it away better. And maybe I'm all right with losing some of that texture that was under there on the collage. I think this paper is just coming up. I don't know if you can hear that droning in the background, but that's my husband. I think he's cutting down a tree. Or actually, he's not cutting down a tree. It was a tree stump that I think he wanted to get it out of the lawn. I don't know if anybody ever saw this show a long time ago. I don't know if it was on public television. It was called The Red Green Show. And in the background, it was a Canadian show, I think. You could always hear a chainsaw in the background in the distance. It was just kind of funny. In a way, that's how things are living out here in the country, which is where I live. And you can hear chainsaws droning in the distance. Okay, let's see. Thanks for your comments. For everybody who's in the comments section, I really appreciate you being here and watching me figure this out real time, because that's really what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing. I'm going to put a little bit more of this water in and see what happens as we let this go down. Like I said, I imagine this is like, I don't know, light filtering down into the ocean. And it was kind of on an angle. I like this angle. And let's see if some of these colors can mingle and kind of make their way down. I don't want to lose that green that's in there either. I really like that. I think I need to get some more yellow out. Too much of that. And then there's this little blip right here. I'm not sure if I want to try to get rid of it or keep it. I don't know what's underneath it. It's giving it some interesting texture. I don't know, maybe there's something happening under the water there. I need another brush. And I want to pick up on this little bit of, I don't know if you can see it here, it's sort of this yellowish orange burnt sienna in there. But I think I need some yellow. And honestly, I have to tell you, I just am grabbing colors here. This is it's yellow ochre. I should have known that by the way it looked when I grabbed the tube. I think that's the right thing to mix with this burnt sienna right here. I just think that this is kind of cool in here. Maybe let's add something more in here of this. And make that connect into there. And then maybe some of this has to come up into here too. Add some orange up there. Let's see. Adding more water. Move the paint around. I really like to see how the acrylic paint, works with the collage underneath it, and in terms of like texture. I think it's kind of interesting. I feel like I'm being a little bit fussy today, picking at things and erasing things. Sometimes it's just really hard to let go and not be afraid to do something. You start to like a certain part of the piece and then you don't want to cover it up. I'm not sure on this one that this purple is what I like. It's brighter than I like, but maybe that's okay. Maybe I should be a little friendlier to the purple. I don't think I like that. Oh, I'm covering up too much of my collage there. See, this is what I'm talking about. I like this little spot. Let me take that back out. I just like that. I don't know what that is, but I really like it. And then I just added a little bit of this, what is it called? Pearlescence. I like that shimmery look. But I think I lost my golden green in here that I wanted. Let's see. don't know what green I had going on there. This might not be right. Maybe it is. Something in here like this. Well, I was trying to create that orange, and I don't know. Let's just go with that. Maybe I need something like this fan brush. I think I'm being a little fussy with this one. I feel like this is too purple up here. I don't like that. Maybe what I need to do is tone it down with a little bit of yellow ochre up in here. I'm feeling not loose today. I'm feeling tight today on this, people. I don't know. I liked too many things about this when I started, and I've been trying to hold on to it. I need to let it go. That's what I'm talking about. Just get some color on here. Do something. Can't just be tentative. I'm still married to this idea of this being an underwater thing. I haven't touched that. Well, other than that little area. Let's see. All right. I'm going to, I think I'm going to let this dry off a bit. I'm not happy about how some of this paper is coming off, and that's not exactly the texture I want, but I'm wondering if I let this dry, I might be able to lightly sand that, and that might be more along the line of what I would like to see happen there. I just covered up something I didn't want to cover up. Okay, I think I should stop on this one because I'm not sure that I'm actually loving the direction. But sometimes that means I need to stop. I'm not sure. I really like how this is light up here, but I'd like it to be even lighter. Let me see, let me get another brush. I just bought a whole bunch of brushes for really cheap. They don't even have brand names on them because they're like reject brushes somehow. I don't know how they're reject brushes, but then I don't have to worry about washing them if I mess them up. I'm not very good about taking care of my brushes sometimes. If you buy expensive brushes, you got to worry about your brushes. Okay, so this line, I want to soften this line. This doesn't look like a fish. Wouldn't it be cool if that looked like a fish? It's something sinking to the bottom of the ocean. I don't know. Boy, we're getting some glare on here today. I think this, I don't know. I think this is going to be okay. I'm going to stop with this one. Let's go back to this one for a few more minutes here. I didn't look to see how long I've been on. I guess 32 minutes. That's probably almost long enough. I'm not sure what emerged from this, if I succeeded in bringing this together in the way that I had hoped. I don't even know what the orientation is of that. Well, maybe this is more the orientation. And I don't want to lose this white passage, but I feel like it needs to be pushed back somehow a little bit. And I'm not sure that this is the right color in here. I've got some of the purple from the last one. Other picture painting that we were working on. I don't know that that did a thing. I don't know that it did a thing to help it. Maybe this blue passage really needs to go through here to try to unify this. And as a reminder, that's where I started this live stream, is I was trying to get this painting to hang together. So it's like, what does it need next? And maybe that's all it needed. Maybe that blue is kind of my unifying factor for this. And I've got some of it going down there. And I think it just needs to dry, and then I'm going to have to decide what to do next. I don't think it's done. I don't know that the subject has emerged yet for me. And a lot of times it doesn't come to me until I've turned this, let it dry. And if you've been here before, you know that I tend to see landscapes in my work because, I don't know, that's just, I love nature, I love outdoors, and I am trained as a landscape architect. So for me, I tend to gravitate toward that kind of subject matter. And I like the fact that I start these with a collage and that gives me something to start with. But what's hard about it sometimes is I like certain aspects of the collage that I don't want to cover up. And then I end up doing what I just did, you know, being very tentative because I don't want to lose what's happening back there. So it's a fine balance, right? To try to take it as far as it needs to go to be finished, and then at the same time, you know, not lose what the history, the meaning that's underneath. I should find some things that I can use to. Oh, here we go. I forgot. I have these sponges over here. These might be interesting for taking some of this. It's strange. It's creating bubbles as I press this sponge down into the water. Strange. Okay, well, you know, I'm not sure I succeeded in what I was trying to do here today, which was, you know, really trying to unify this. I think I brought some more interesting colors into it, and I think it's quite a bit different than this one now. I think this was a little bit more restrained, but we'll see what happens. I will be here on Wednesday this coming week to do my watercolor live stream. And so I will see you next time. And in the meantime, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate all of my new subscribers, and I appreciate people who come to my live streams. Thank you so much. And until next time, see you then. Thank you.